Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. And we sure appreciate you guys coming on with us when you can. Live and saying hello. We appreciate that. And of course, we understand that not everybody can watch live, but we appreciate you. And we want to say hello to a few friends here this morning. I cannot see anything. Okay, hold on a minute here. Okay. Stuff is sort of floating by, but I can't see it. And hold on here. Like it's saying nobody's on with us this morning. Can you hear me and see me this morning? Because I got 44, 47, but I don't, you know what, guys? I cannot see any comment. Let me just look here on my Facebook here and see if I see myself on Facebook. Okay, there's 30 comments already. And let me just see here. I'm just trying to figure out why this is not showing me anything. Let me see here. I can't see it. So, okay. I'm not saying hello, guys, but it's not because I don't love you. Give me the thumbs up if you can hear me and see me. If that's, and then I'll just get right into our program this morning. And again, I'm not getting any feedback at all here. Yeah, I can't see anything. So you guys are commenting, but there we go. Okay. You guys are seeing me. You can hear me. That's the biggest thing. The roll call. Who knows? Why? Did I do something wrong? Possibly. Okay, let's look at a few. That's what we did yesterday, but I'll continue on there. There was quite a few new studies, articles that I want to comment on, find interesting. Another omega-3 study. Okay, so last week, what did we talk about? Higher omega-3s linked to reduced cardiovascular disease. December 2024, if you have higher omega-3 levels in your blood, you can measure it. You get a 21% decrease in heart failure and a 47% lower risk of death amongst individuals for heart disease. Omega-3. Remember, lubrication. Those blood vessels, if you want to make them less sticky, lubricate them. Give it an oil change, okay? Here's another reason to give your body another, or an oil change. Another omega-3 study, boosting your levels of omega-3 could cut Alzheimer's risk by 50%. 50%. How do you like that? Again, it comes back to changing fat. When you consume the right fat, and omega-3, especially the high DHA oil, is so good for the brain. It's good for your eyes. It's good for your heart. Lubrication and, lubrication of those blood vessels and fat replacement. Think about that in the brain. Okay, because in Alzheimer's brain, what does that brain do? It shrinks like a prune. Shrinks like a prune. And you want to be called fathead as you get older. Okay? And that's really, really important. So another omega-3 study, not only for your heart, not only for your eyes, but your brain and Alzheimer's. Like almost a 50% decrease if your omega-3 levels are high in your tissue, in your blood. Guys, there's not a medication in the world, and it ain't even close, that's going to give you that. There's no medication that's going to give you that. Well, omega-3, okay? And again, there's a lot of different types of omega-3. In the animal kingdom, you have EPA and DHA. And you want the high DHA especially. It's a longer chain fatty acid, and the research is incredible, guys, on it. Absolutely incredible. Okay. Study done. I read this article yesterday. I find it fascinating, and I jotted it down. Okay, there's a guy named, in 1867, there was a fella named Dr. Passavant, P-A-S-S-A-V-A-N-T, Passavant, I think. Sounds French to me. Passavant? I don't know. Anyway, he did a clinical trial with a patient who was suffering psoriasis for 25 years. And you know what he did? He put them on a meat-only, steak-only diet. And in a couple of months, that person who had psoriasis for 25 years completely cleared. And he wrote about it. And I read it. Kind of interesting. Now, guys, I'm not suggesting you've got to be a carnivore, okay? I'm not suggesting that. It's good for you. But I'm not even saying that, because I'm more of a nutrivore, okay? Where I come from, I'm a nutrivore. I want you to change fuels. I'm very big on that. And I'm very, very, very big. You guys know this, but very big on the animal kingdom. I want that to be a priority. And when you have skin conditions, I'm a big guy on fixing leaky gut, but there's nothing that will feed your probiotic, your friendly bacteria, better than a steak will. Okay? Sun, steak, and steel. Okay? Somebody asked me yesterday, what does steel mean? Well, it's not S-T-E-A-L, it's S-T-E-E-L, steel, right? Get strong. Boy, the research on that is incredible. Listen to this study, vitamin D, on vitamin D again, here we go. Day after day, I tell you, it comes in almost on a daily basis as the importance of vitamin D. But this one, it makes sense, but I don't know if I've ever seen a study on this particular, on infections, okay, and vitamin D. We all know that vitamin D is so important part of your immune system, but listen to this, okay? This is a new study on vitamin D. When you have an infection, a virus or a bacteria, your blood levels of vitamin D decline. Well, why is that? Because your body is taking the vitamin D in your blood. It's called dehydroxy-25. It's taking that vitamin D and using it to supply the immune system. So the takeaway of the story is up your vitamin D levels, get them up to prevent infection, and then get them up during an infection, because what happens, you're going to get depleted. Your body takes that vitamin D, it passes it on to the immune system, especially your T cells. They need to get supercharged. They're your Navy SEALs. They need to get supercharged for an infection. Okay? So the extra demand for vitamin D requires a higher uptake. Now, me personally, I like the vitamin D hammer. Okay? For me personally, I like the 50,000 IUs. A hammer is this, okay? I didn't invent the hammer, by the way. Okay? I preached it, but I didn't invent it. This number. 50,000 IUs, 3 days during an infection. 50,000 IUs, this is what I do. Virus, bacterial infection, 50,000 IUs for 3 days. Okay? It's called the hammer. You're hammering. You're really topping up your vitamin D levels during an infection. Okay? And again, just for information's sake, the vast majority of people are very low in vitamin D. The vast majority. You take the average, and people in the United States are somewhere in the 30s or less of vitamin D when they should be 60 and above. And, you know, there's research out there showing that if you want to fight cancer, for example, can you imagine? Okay, like we just talk about infections and how the body just drains vitamin D during infections. Can you imagine what your body does during fighting cancer? Vitamin D, the demand for more vitamin D demands a higher uptake during infection. Okay? And the vast majority of people are low in vitamin D. In Canada, the numbers are incredible too. Very low. People are scared of the sun. I still hear people who lather up with sunscreen every day. Every day they lather it up, their sun. They've been duped. One of the biggest dupes in medicine, duping the population, is to lather up sunscreen and not get your required amount of vitamin D. And 20 minutes in the sun, you get 10,000 IUs. Okay? Let's see. I had another few studies here. That was on vitamin D. I'm reading one here on quercetin and cancer. Quercetin. Now, you guys know I like quercetin. Right? And usually with quercetin, okay? Because if you ask people and they know anything about supplements, quercetin, they know, and they know this. The quercetin is a very powerful, natural antihistamine. It blocks the histamine. So if you have a histamine sensitivity, you got a lot of allergies, quercetin is a tremendous, I like quercetin. And for allergy season, like I have a mild hay fever, okay? Put your hand up if any of you have allergies. Well, you don't have to put, I can't see anything this morning, so don't put your hand, okay? But guys, I've been using quercetin for years, okay? In combination, I like allergy season, and I recommended this for years, quercetin and Navital. Eyes, DHA and Navital. People ask me every day, Navital, doc, what's it for? Well, think of anything and it's for that. Inflammation? Yeah, Navital's good for it. Heart? Yeah, Navital's good. It elevates your nitric oxide. Energy? Yeah, Navital crosses the blood-brain barrier. Brings you extra blood supply to the brain, energy levels, fog levels. Yeah, fantastic. I love Navital. You guys know that. It was our flagship product. Pine bark extract. Tremendous. Tremendous. Anyway, quercetin I like with allergies with the combination of pine bark extract, Navital. Fantastic. I find it to be one of the most effective antihistamines, natural antihistamines that you can take. Okay? Now, the other thing what people don't realize in quercetin is uric acid. Okay? You should see the studies of quercetin on uric acid. So people like get gout, but a lot of people have high levels of uric acid and they don't get gout. But you should see the studies on quercetin and decreasing levels of uric acid. Now, guys, you know this on this program, we've included high levels of uric acid in metabolic syndrome. We put some new things in there that if you just Google metabolic syndrome, they will talk to you about belly fat, high triglycerides, low HDL, elevated blood pressure, elevated blood sugar. Okay? That's part of what they call metabolic syndrome. And by the way, 93% of the population have it. Okay? What they won't tell you is what we tell you here on the Doctor Is In podcast. What do we tell you? Well, we tell you that you can look at vitamin D as a metabolic factor. Because when you have metabolic syndrome, almost invariably, with very few exceptions, you have low levels of vitamin D. I've added another one. Low levels of B12. I've added that to metabolic syndrome. B12 is such an important vitamin that I've added it because when people don't have optimized levels of B12, it has a major effect on your metabolism. And so when you get metabolic syndrome, metabolic syndrome is an energy problem. It's a storage problem. Your body's storing, okay? Your body is storing fat in the wrong places. It's part of metabolic syndrome. That's why we talk about belly fat. You can be skinny as a rake and have metabolic syndrome. We could add another one. Low muscle mass, metabolic syndrome. Okay? Again, these are not official when you look at what the world talks about in metabolic syndrome. At least they agree it exists. You know what? Most physicians don't know anything about metabolic syndrome. They look at the lipid profile in your blood work, and a physician is not trained to look for metabolic syndrome. They should be. If 93% of the population have it, if metabolic syndrome means you're on the Titanic and you're headed for disaster, you would think that that's important. Extremely important. I used to train physicians and anyone that would listen, nutritionists, on metabolic syndrome. I did hundreds and hundreds of people. Not lay people, although a lot of lay people know more about metabolic syndrome than their physicians. That I guarantee you. Almost invariably. But I used to train them to understand it. Like, look at blood work differently. Look at numbers the right way, because you can tell if someone's on the Titanic or not. Because again, metabolic syndrome is the root cause. The root cause of cancer, cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's, diabetes, autoimmune. It's part of a huge ship, the Titanic, that leads to all those other diseases. Okay? Now, I was talking to you about quercetin, and I get sidetracked. Okay? So quercetin is really good for allergies. That's well established, guys. But what isn't well, and it's very good for uric acid. Oh, that's why I got into metabolic syndrome, because I was talking about uric acid. I'm pulling my senior card, guys. I go down rabbit trails sometimes and I forget to come back. And when I do, I go, why did I go down that rabbit trail? Why didn't I start talking about that? Oh yeah, okay, uric acid. Now, okay, now, quercetin, new studies, quercetin and cancer. Wow, who knew? Quercetin, especially, let me just read a few things here. Quercetin, especially in colorectal cancer. You know what one of the fastest growing, and I don't mean just growing on the inside, I mean growing in numbers, cancer, is colorectal cancer. Do you know that colorectal cancer, okay, at one time, if you look at my old textbooks in medicine here, if you look at colorectal cancer and you look at stomach cancer and you look at pancreatic cancer, these three cancers at one time were considered old age cancers. Okay? Old age cancers. You got them in your old age. Now that's all changed, guys. That's all changed. And now we're getting all these cancers, colorectal especially, in young people. It's now become a young person cancer. And medicine, of course, they can't explain it, but I can. We live in a different world. The human body was never meant to consume a dump truck load of sugar, of high fructose corn syrup. It was never meant for that. Your body just don't know what to do with that much sugar. And that's what we're consuming today. It's like 200 pounds a year. It's crazy. 13 years, you get it done. You know what I mean? Like, how can your body take that? Your body wasn't meant for it. I tell my grandchildren all the time, well, Grandpa had ice cream and cookies too, you know. You guys didn't invent that stuff. But we didn't live on. The average person in the 1950s consumed 25 pounds, a big bag of sugar a year. My kids, all my 4 children, adult children today, consume 50 pounds. Guys, the studies are out there. The demographics, how much sugar do we consume in the 1970s? Too much, but it was 50 pounds. But we doubled in a generation, and now another generation has come. And we're up to 200 pounds a year. Why do you think we see so much colorectal cancer? Why do we see so much pancreatic cancer? Why are they out of control? Why do we see so much stomach cancer? Your stomach was never made for that. And then you add in the bad oils, the middle aisles of your grocery store with all these seed oils, then you add in the environment. Man, we live in a toxic soup today. What did I read the other day? Let me read this to you, okay? Glass bottles, okay? Linda, Larry, are you listening? Glass bottles are supposed to be safe. This is an article. But a new study just found they contain 3 times more microplastics than plastic bottles. What? From ScienceDirect.com. Okay, this is where I read it. Glass bottles supposed to be safe, but a new study just found out they contain 3 times more microplastics than plastics. Now, guys, you guys know what I say about this all the time. Good luck getting rid of all the plastics. Good luck of getting rid of all the pesticides. Good luck of getting rid of all the herbicides. Good luck. You'd have to leave the planet. I don't care where you live. I don't care if you got a little island all by yourself in Costa Rica. I had a patient tell me that once. I'm leaving on a jet plane and I don't know when I'll be back again. I think that's a song, isn't it? Okay? They were leaving Canada for Costa Rica and they weren't coming back. I kind of laugh about it today. Well, I laughed even then because I said, well, why are you going there? I'm getting away from this crazy world that we live in and all the plastics and all the garbage and all the pollution and all the... I said, well, it sucks to be the rest of us. I was being very sarcastic. I said, do you think you're going to Costa Rica and you're going to get rid of all the plastics in the world? She said, yeah. I said, nah, no, you're not. Good luck with that. It's all over the place. So I'm not telling you not to go to Costa Rica. You got the money and you got an island there, good for you. Why don't you invite me? I'll do a little seminar there. But guys, listen, all I'm saying is, you better take care of yourself. Get your body as a fighting machine. Get your body as a fighting machine. Get your immune system up to snuff. Get your vitamin D levels up. Cut out the sugar as much as possible. I'm telling you, what a difference that makes in the world. Okay? So, I'll never drink out of a plastic bottle again because, look, if you want to do that, good for you. I mean it. Just make sure you're drinking water. Okay? Because, all the water is contaminated. Well, we live in a very imperfect world, guys. But do everything you can. Everything you can to build up the immune system. That's me. I'm more of a soil guy, rather than looking at the flower. I look at the soil. I'm more interested in the internal mechanisms, your immune system. God gave you an immune system. Build it up. A virus comes and they want to close the world down. A virus will always come. A virus will always be there. Build your body up. That's me. Right? Build your body up. You can't... if you guys think you're going to change the world, change you. Change you. And I know I'm preaching to the choir this morning, okay? Guys, I don't know what happened, why I couldn't say hello to you today. Like, well, I'm saying hello, but I couldn't see it going by in a flash. Guys, I can't figure it out. Maybe I'll figure it out after. I don't know. Okay? I don't know. Okay. Friday is Q&A. I always remind you of that because this Friday is going to be July the 4th and it's Q&A. Okay? And I'm going to be around. Okay? We were around yesterday on July 1st, Canada Day, and then Independence Day, July 4th. Hey, we're going to be around, Lord willing. And we want to take your questions, so send them in to info@martinclinic.com. Guys, I got excited this morning. Okay, we love you. We'll talk to you soon.